For the past 10 years, buying a smartphone followed one reliable economic rule. Every year, internal components got cheaper to produce. So when a new phone launched, it generally cost the same as last year's model, and over time, that retail price tag slowly dropped. But in 2025 and early 2026, the market broke that rule. Instead of prices falling, manufacturers started quietly increasing the retail cost of older phone models that were already sitting on store shelves. This graph illustrates the shift. We are used to a downward trend, but look at the Realme 15 and 16 Pro models. Both experienced a sudden 3,000 rupee jump in base price months after launch, with zero announcements. Vivo and Oppo did the exact same thing across different storage variants. If you ask the brands why a phone from last year suddenly costs more today, they all point to the exact same excuse: the addition of artificial intelligence. Yet, if you hold one of these more expensive devices in your hand, you'll notice the physical hardware is identical to what it was before the price hike. The battery is the same, the screen is the same, and the camera sensors haven't changed. This leaves anyone trying to buy a phone right now with a serious financial dilemma. You have to figure out if you are actually paying for a necessary hardware upgrade or if you are quietly absorbing a massive AI tax for no tangible physical benefit. To find the actual reason your phone costs more, we have to ignore the marketing and follow the money trail to two massive companies, SKHix and Micron. These are massive semiconductor manufacturers that essentially control the global supply of memory and storage chips used in almost all electronics. If you look at their earnings reports for the fourth quarter of 2025, SKHix posted a 137% year-over-year jump in profit. Buried in their investor call was a direct warning. Smartphone makers are about to face a worsening shortage of standard memory chips. This flowchart tracks where those chips are actually going. Hyperscale tech companies like Microsoft and Meta have completely bought out the entire 2026 supply of advanced AI memory to build their massive server farms. This leaves a highly restricted, bottleneck supply for everyone else. Because the global supply of standard memory is now strictly limited, smartphone manufacturers are forced to compete for whatever is left over, paying a massive premium to secure the basic chips they need to build their phones. And smartphone brands are not absorbing that manufacturing cost themselves. They are passing the premium directly to you at the checkout counter. So when a brand raises the price of a phone, that extra cash isn't paying for advanced localized AI features in your pocket. You are actually subsidizing a global supply chain crisis driven by corporate server farms. But brands couldn't just put a sticker on the box saying, "Sorry, memory chips got expensive." They needed a distraction to justify the sudden price hike, which led to the sudden push of the AI phone marketing label. Look closely at these features. They fall into distinct categories. The first is the rebrand. This is where manufacturers take a standard software feature that has existed for years and simply stick the letters AI in front of it to make the device sound premium. Look at the first row of this matrix. It shows features processed entirely on the device using existing hardware. For example, scanning handwritten notes into digital text is a technology called optical character recognition, or OCR, which scans and translates images of text into machine-readable characters. Back in 2015, it was just called OCR. Today, brands rebrand it as AI Notes. The second category is Cloud AI, which includes photo manipulation tools like Magic Eraser. These features are genuinely useful, allowing you to easily remove objects or unwanted people from your personal photos with a single tap. But there is a distinct catch. Roughly 90% of the complex processing for these tasks happens on remote servers. The moment you turn off your phone's internet connection, those specific AI features stop working entirely. Both of these categories expose the problem with current pricing models. The first tier uses old software, and the second tier relies on external servers. Neither actually requires the expensive, upgraded physical components inside the phone, meaning that hardware premium you're paying is unjustified. The third and most advanced category is agentic AI. This is the future where the phone acts as an autonomous digital butler, capable of operating entirely on its own to complete complex tasks across multiple different apps. We saw a glimpse of this at Mobile World Congress, the industry's largest annual hardware exhibition, with a concept device from Nubia. You tell the phone you're hungry, it navigates delivery apps, reads past eating habits, and orders the food. While that capability is impressive, it highlights a harsh reality for buyers right now. True, fully functioning on-device agentic AI does not exist in the commercial consumer market as of early 2026. You can see this clearly with Apple's rollout. They aggressively marketed Apple Intelligence as the main reason to upgrade to the iPhone 16, promising a completely revamped virtual assistant with on-screen awareness and the ability to control actions across different applications. The reality is that the core system failed in testing. Millions paid an upfront hardware premium for an AI phone, only for those highly advertised agent features to be delayed until at least spring 2026. Upgrading right now for the promise of agentic AI means handing over your money for delayed software that hasn't actually proven it can run reliably on the device. This doesn't mean the entire smartphone industry has stopped innovating. It just means legitimate advancements right now are happening in physical, mechanical engineering rather than ambiguous software labels. Look at the Huawei Mate X-T trifold. They completely re-engineered the mechanics of the display, creating a screen that unfolds into a standard foldable and then expands again into a full tablet using a dual-track mechanical hinge. You also see this in devices like the Honor robot phone, which managed to physically fit an entire gimbal stabilization system directly inside the chassis of the phone to keep the camera perfectly steady. The economic reality for manufacturers is simple. Developing new physical components requires massive R&D budgets. Conversely, putting last year's hardware in a new box and slapping an AI label on it costs next to nothing, and it still guarantees sales. Those experimental hardware designs are expensive, yes, but that price tag represents a tangible return on investment for actual engineering, rather than an empty premium for an outsourced cloud processing feature. Before you hand over a single dollar for a phone in the current market, put the device through this strict 3-question upgrade checklist. First, has the physical processor chip actually changed? Second, are there measurable physical improvements to the battery, display, or charging hardware? And third, is the marketed AI feature available to download right now via a free app? If the hardware hasn't materially changed and the software is already available for free, completely ignore the upgrade cycle. Keep using your current phone. The silicon shortage driving these costs will not last forever. Once the server demand from tech companies stabilizes, the global memory supply will recover, and standard phone prices will correct themselves. Avoid the pricing distraction. Protect your capital and refuse to upgrade until physical, tangible hardware actually dictates a higher price tag.